I'll be making another reaction video. Making everyone into perfect. So we'll be reacting to this. This one's very funny. Bruh.
Alright, we're checking out the only game where you have to make decisions on how to ruin the lives of the people around you, which will then determine exactly what type of child you have. It's Consider It More. Consider It More is a game. Sometimes you just don't have to do anything. Like this. Just sitting on a random person's lap. Actually, can I sit on all the laps? So anyway, after all your choices are made, it will determine exactly what type of a human you are and what you will pass down to your children. The world is in a state at the Demon King's hands. Would you help save it? Yes. No. Can I not choose either of these? Oh shit. God, I love that you don't have to make a choice at all. How do I, like, is someone gonna make it for me? So obviously, I assume you can push the block on here and save everyone. I would always choose, you're allowed to, the hell? Okay, so short line, long line, or you could just leave without paying. Progress update. The previous 5 questions. Truly, mildly considerate. I don't believe you. I'm going to take the picture. All right. Oh, here we go. Everyone smile. Oh, what the frick? I'm assuming I was the one that was supposed to make everyone smile. Now everyone just looks like they wish they were dead. Trip him, trip him, trip him. Oh.
Uppercut him.
Go. Oh.
Uppercut him in the
Go ahead. What the hell? Get kicked! Marathon. Do I get to ruin another child's life? We're gonna reach the goal together. Sure will. All right, you can do this.
Wow, you're very fat.
Cardio. All right.
You're so fat.
Update.
Fat.
Truly
Big
mildly
fat.
Considerate. It does not look that way. It
looks like you are
suffering. Simply living
yeah.
carnivores.
By existing, everybody hates their
Your
lives.
stop. Your stop. Oh, nope. I'm sorry. No stop for you. I guess you could bring this. No. Come on. You gotta jump for it, girl. Oh, you're almost there. This game is just torturing people. That's all it is. The baseball games today. What the hell? Oh, God. There we, oh, no, hold on. What kind of pants can I give her? There we go.
Perfect.
Congratulations. Welcome to the game. You're dressed completely appropriately. Big lines at your pancake. Just look at that huge line. What the hell? Reporting from the field. That's it from me.
What?
Ooh. Ah,
No!
like giving the place the middle finger. I'm Newton. Feels like I'm about to have an epiphany. Ah, the apple.
Yes.
Whoa,
It's
what the hell?
wow.
What
Yes.
is
Normal
this?
to watch a tree.
This
It's
guy is
just
watching
absolutely
a
freaking
tree.
out.
Violet. What the hell? I shook a
Oh
bunch of
yes.
beets on her
Oh
entire
yes. It's
Isaac
perfect to
Newton.
watch.
No.
Your tree is jumping.
Consider it. Isaac Newton doesn't feel that way. He's currently going into anaphylactic shock. Sometimes I try and ruin life. Get over it, buddy. I like how he just takes it too. At the dentist. All right, our girl is hell out of it. Our dentist is here. Raise your hand if you feel any. I just knocked the dentist out. I beat the hell out of it. On the plus side, she doesn't have to worry about being afraid anymore. What the hell? Ooh. Oh, you have to put the right head on. Of course, there we go. The Voltron bunny girl is assaulting Tokyo. You're welcome. We've got a kitten here. What the hell? Oh, that is a Roomba. All right, can I get on top of the Roomba? Come on, kid. I know cats. There we go. Now let's keep going. Go all the way. And I'm leaving my owner. Ah, yes. Going to... Oh, it's the speed of the wind. See, he can reach his girlfriend. He's getting blown away. Can I even go beyond this? You keep pressing up, it goes even past that, and it kills him. Truly, mildly considerate.
Yeah.
This, friends, is the face of true consideration. Downloading. Oh, can I actually go backwards in the downloading? I can. How the hell? Oh, nope. Come on, go. There we go. Yep. Back. All right, inside the meeting room. Gotta look at the graph. Gotta impress the boss. Is this dude's fly open? It's totally open. Like, what do I do here? I guess it's just make everyone focus on this one thing. This cow is so cute. Yeah. All right. Are we gonna butcher? Let's get some lunch. No! Oh, so you can... The cow gets closer and closer. He's just staring at them uncomfortably every time I open and close the curtains. Oh, I can thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell him to stop. How about that? Don't do what you're doing anymore. Going into the haunted house with a boyfriend. Am I beating the ghost to death? I am. I'm beating the ghost. I'm beating the hell out of the ghost. Oh, no, still beating the ghost. How long can I beat this ghost for? I never beat this one too. Anyone else? Anyone else want a piece of this? Oh, relationship is not getting ruined by you, Mr. Alien. Come on, give me some more. Time to pay the bill. Okay, so... Oh, no, it's okay. Oh, all right, bye. I mean, have fun. I've got a date tomorrow. Tomorrow's the field trip. Tomorrow's the outdoor concert. Ah, yes! Here we have the... Oh, nope. Don't want you to get rid of that bad weather. Yeah, chill out down here. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me see. Can I, like... Oh, no, don't do that. Hey, walking along. Well, I could move, but instead... Ow! You became stranded. All right, there's the boyfriend. This is just like... Wake your ass up! Get up! Come on! You think you can go to sleep, Jack? You think just because there's one plank of wood, I'm gonna let you die? Would you get us some tea, please? Ooh, all right, let's mix a little water in there. Oh, yeah. How about some more? And then some coffee. Can you make mine a little sweet? Okay. Oh, yeah. Time for some diabetes. Put it all in there. Yeah, fill the whole cup up. Turtles are so slow. That's not true. Want to race me? This rabbit is creepy as hell. This poor turtle, sure. So technically, who won there? Popcorn. Yeah, you want a place to put your pot. Oh, go ahead. Oh. How much popcorn can I... Oh, I can take his popcorn too. Okay, put that over there. There we go, yeah. All right, lightsaber duel. Obi-Wan Kenobi. There we go. having some performance anxiety here. Answer correctly to win a prize money. Consider it. Which is it? What? I don't... There's no budget. There's no budget. 3. So how are you gonna pay me? Because that was technically the right answer. Hi, I'm GuideBot. If you want to know where to go, ask me. The people always force me to work. I'll revenge you one day. Oh, I'm making it go crazy by doing enough of this. Okay, so I've overworked Revenge Bot over there, whatever the hell it is. I wonder if it'll come back to that. Going to the arcade. Boyfriend. Oh, all right. So now I have to do better than the boyfriend. Hold on. Ready? Yeah! You became stranded again. This happens a lot. Do I have to slap the shit out of my boyfriend one more time? What the hell? I could do this to the... Yeah. I'm just going to the concert. I left him for the concert. Now he's gonna die. Uh-oh. Not good, not good. Can't, oh no. Oh no. Oh, I missed the people. There we go, I got one. Big flush, little flush. Busy? You just eat what's easy. Flush. What is this? That's the sound. Perfume. Right? Oh. Yeah, that's what happens. All right, get out of there. Oh no, I got rid of one of the models. There's only one left to get rid of. Happy birthday! Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Ooh, ooh. How cute. Ah ha ha. What the hell? Nope, stop it. I'm not going out. I'm gonna burn this Are you okay? The candle burnt all the way down and she never managed to get it out. Who wants cake? Oh, I've got to cut it. Okay. How about... Keep it going. You may have 1 millimeter of cake. What the hell? I'm ZZ, the VTuber. I just have to adjust a few settings. Hold on. All right. I'm just punching my monitor. This is what I have to say about your settings. Train your brain. Guess how many people are left in the house? Okay. All right, well, there's 3 people. Then 3 people left. There's another 3 people. Oh my God, that house is on fire! Input your answer. So hold on, can you 911? Does 911 actually come? It's also possible all these people just want to die, so they're just rushing to the house to burn alive. I'd like to think that they're like the fire department or something, though. All right, it's the Matrix. Bullets coming. Bullet. The bullet just killed him. What the hell? Is this like a girl? Oh, you can land in his arms. It's floating over him. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go over here this way. I'm just gonna. Oh, you can. You gotta drop this lightly into the soy sauce. Yes, I love sodium. Oh, it's so good. The violently putting it into the soy sauce. At the bar, having a drink. I'm such a fool. Yeah, it could be that I just don't have the... I'm creating an alcoholic. How many can I drink while she tells me her story of men? Keep it going. I'm gonna have cancer. My entire liver is going to explode. Look at the stack of drinks. Will you back me up? Look, I'm like 212 Cosmos in, okay? Hey, stop it. If I can't have a relationship, nobody can. See here, can I go around this way? Ow. I'm trying to get right in between the both of them. There we go. There, I'm better for you anyway. There we go. I finally killed one of them. It just took forever. I'm gonna set off the fireworks. Timing is everything.
What did I just watch?
I had a great time today. Yes? Oh, he's gonna ask her out. Ready for it? Ready for it? Okay. Oh, there we go! Try again. You wanna ask her one more time? No! Come here. Keep it going. How'd your marriage proposal go? I wish I could say they lived happily ever after, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. Long ago, somewhere far away, there was an honest woodcutter. One day he dropped his precious axe. A goddess then appeared. What kind of axe did you drop? A golden axe or a silver axe? Or... You know what? I'm just gonna leave. Forget it. I don't want to be a part of this. I mean, she's still alive, so technically it's not murder. What is this? Oh, it's like a little creature. What the hell? What? What is... You can't run from this. You can't run from this. Train your brain. What do you see? Answer in English. All right, that was an apple. So what happens if we pick orange? I'm pretty sure that was a cherry. I guess we can do great. That was... What the hell was that? I'm gonna go with this. Now they're just censoring everything! What am I supposed to pick? There's nothing there. There's nothing there at all. I'm violently pregnant. I'm gonna sit in all the laps first. I'm gonna punch this guy out. Or I guess I can also hold his hand. I'm gonna have this lady run the friggin' marathon while she's pregnant at 3 a.m. Wake the baby up. Wake up, child. Make it so that your parents get no sleep. All right, so we've got to focus this. Let me see if I can bring it. Oh. Yeah, there we go. There's your family picture. You're welcome. All right, so now this is the photo album. How time flies. You're already 3, right? Oh. What? Oh, Jesus. Seems my time as a mother, I can go back and forward. I go all the different directions. How many horrible things did I put my child through? I wonder if one day this child too will be as considerate. How am I considerate? But nowadays, don't they say that being too considerate is... Oh, well, that's true. Since everyone's different, you need to be considerate. If you have to ask, I can't read it fast enough. Still, being considerate is a good thing. No, it's not. You're welcome, young child. I know you can do it. I lived a terrible life and I got to this point after all. I'm so proud of you, my son. There we go. We're all the way at the end of the child's life. Family. What the hell? Hold on. I have an idea. Okay, go ahead. Sit down. Sit down. No, sit down. Where are you going? All right, so now the overall results. Detailed results. Not considerate at all. A selfish hairdresser. Oh my God, you can see all of the stuff. Common sense needs work. Specific knowledge poor. Spatial.
That was a great review. Now let's see if we can actually download the game.
Google. 899 divided by 3.
The answer is approximately 299.666667.
Yeah. Okay.
Awareness needs work. Adulting horrible.
App icons used to be a thing of beauty, with realistic textures and fantastic lighting. Basically, they were pieces of art, but now they're just kind of boring. Well, in this video, I'm creating realistic versions of these popular app icons to bring back a small taste of the glory days. First up, we are tackling Spotify, which happens to be the most popular music streaming app on the planet. From the biggest pop stars to the Wiggles' greatest hits, they've basically got it all. Now, obviously, their logo is meant to look like sound waves, but what it reminds me of more so is those vintage metal microphones with the slits everywhere. And one thing I loved about old app icon designs is they weren't afraid to be a little vintage. I mean, Instagram was essentially a Polaroid camera, which hadn't been popular since the 80s. So I'm thinking the new Spotify app icon should be a vintage radio, because I can't really think of anything that better represents the ability to select a tune from a bunch of different sources and play it. I'm going with a wooden body because that just looks classy. And personally, I love it when icons feel like real 3D objects and not just like plain flat sheets. Just give this edge a soft trim light so it feels nice and smooth. But app icons, well, they're quite small, and darker areas like this can blend in if your phone has a dark background. But adding a little bounce lighting along this bottom edge really helps it pop out no matter the background color. Now I want this to be a high quality speaker, so I'll go with a leather trim around it made of a few different images I stitched together. And since the lighting will be coming down from the top left, we'll get a nice trim light around all these edges. And a little tip for you, if you make it so the light doesn't affect the darkest areas of the cracks, you'll get a much more realistic leather shine. Then those adjacent edges will get the opposite treatment by being covered in shadow. Now I've got this nifty woven material that looks just like speaker grill cloth. And you probably noticed I've kept the textures of everything pretty big, which is exactly what basically all icons do. Because if you make the textures a realistic size, they just disappear when they're actually put on a tiny phone screen. I want to make sure this lip looks raised, kind of like the cloth is stretched over it and attached to it. And that whole speaker will cast a subtle shadow onto the wooden base below. Now, a ton of old radios and amplifiers actually had their brand's logo glued onto their speaker cloth. So I want to do the same thing here by making a thick metal ring to house the Spotify logo. I'll add in some shiny reflections across the surface, making sure some of those are dark as well. Now, honestly, I don't really like how each of these lines are a different thickness, so I made a new shape where everything is uniform, which should better match that vintage microphone look I was going for. Now, I want the metal plate that's cut out of to be slightly rounded, kind of like a squished sphere. And to make this look like metal, I'm going to mix this soft shading with some kind of chaotic, blurry reflections, and then a layer of clean, sharp reflections that kind of work around that cutout where the metal would be distorted. Finally, a shadow from the ring and some bounce lighting here at the bottom. And some extra shines here or there will bring it down. Although, since everything else does have a texture, I'll give this a nice brushed metal look with a little bit of patina. Let's get one of those nice long drop shadows casting onto the speaker below, which, to be fair, isn't terribly realistic, but it has a beautiful stylized look that I just really like. Fade that off a tad, and we should be good. But now, if we want a functioning radio, we're going to need a frequency tuner, which will need a rustic paper background that we can print some numbers on top of so you'll know which station you're on. Of course, we'll need one of those little plastic needles to help show us where we're tuned to, and I'll make it so this whole thing is inset into the wood. A little shadow around everything, and more often than not, these things would be housed behind a piece of thin curved glass to protect it. But now that needle is not going to move unless we have a knob to control it. But between you and me, I prefer knobs to have a little class. You know, something with character that isn't perfectly flat. And of course, it's always helpful if they have some in-cut ridges for extra grip, which are actually super easy to make if you just paint one side of the lines darker and leave the others a little lighter. Finally, a little anisotropic shine on the top of the knob, which is just a special type of light reflection that things like CDs and the bottom of frying pans have. And it's especially common when things have a circular brush texture like this. I did want to get at least a little hint of green on here, since that is Spotify's main brand color. So I figured a tiny LED power light would do just the trick. And with that, the old plain Spotify app icon has been transformed into a realistic vintage radio that you can listen to all your favorite songs and advertisements through. Now, if you've watched my videos for a while, you've probably noticed I often use a lot of fun little animations for extra flavor, or moving backgrounds to keep your goldfish level attention spans hooked, and sometimes even a beautiful scenic shot of nature, since I know none of you ever touch grass yourself. Well, I basically get all of that good stuff from the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Now, I've used Storyblocks ever since I started my YouTube channel, mainly because they offer unlimited downloads from a media library of over 1 million assets, all for a single, simple subscription. I can just search for any clip I need, like someone cooking a meal, find a cool background track for it to set the mood, maybe add in the slicing effect for those ASMR lovers out there, and even toss in a little animation to bring it all to life. That is the power of Storyblocks. From stock footage to images, music, and motion graphics templates, they've got you covered. Everything is 100% royalty-free with clear licensing, so you can just focus on creating cool things. They constantly commission new content to be added to the platform and remove old clips to keep things high quality and fresh. Shoot, they've even got plugins for After Effects and Premiere Pro that lets you search through the entire stock library within the apps. You can head over to storyblocks.com/Brandon Shepherd or click the link down below to get access to unlimited stock media at one set price. Thanks again to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. Now we're going to take on Discord's icon. If you didn't know, Discord basically just lets you build your own chat rooms, and a lot of people use it to stream video games while voice chatting with their friends. Hence why Discord's logo is a literal game controller. With that target market in mind,
Daddy, we're not allowed to use Discord because Discord allows inappropriate and even swearing content. Hmm?
I'm going to lean into
Daddy?
the gaming theme by turning this icon into a mini arcade machine, a lot of which had these little hoods over top of them to protect the screen from light. Of course, down here is the console area where the machine's controls will go. And now that the rough shape is pretty much done, we can start adding textures, like this stripy plastic around the screen area, complemented by some extreme grittiness over top, because I'm going for a really heavily used look. This will really start to shape up as I get some shading in. Naturally, it'll be lighter right next to the screen and darker here towards the edges. And let's not forget this hood will cast a shadow as if there's a light coming from above. Speaking of which, these corners are some of Light's favorite places to gather, which will often give you this really crisp, shiny look. I'll get a rim light around the very edge of this plastic, along with a darker strip to make it look like there's a gap between these two panels. Now, this bad boy is vintage. We ain't got no 4K OLED screen on this thing. We've got an old pixelated clunker that shines really bright in the center, but not so much along the edges. That screen will house the Discord logo, albeit a low resolution one, but at least it'll have a nice illuminating glow around it, and with a purple hue over the background to match Discord's brand colors. In the real world, this thing would for sure be reflecting the dozen other arcade machines directly around it, but I do want one larger, almost cartoon-like reflection here in the center just as a stylistic choice. The hood from above is going to cast a big dark shadow onto the screen below, and even though normally these lit up parts wouldn't be affected by shadow, I just think it'll help this upper part feel more 3D, like it's actually jutting out over the screen. A faint layer of dust and scratches will really show some wear and tear, but it's the console area that gets physically handled the most by far. Hence an extra large amount of scuffage. Now I really want to give this a look like we're in a dark room and the screen is really bright, so I'll darken up this area where the screen light can't get to, but the area hit by the light will have a nice purple cast to it. And in a stroke of luck, I found the perfect vintage joystick for this gaming unit. Of course, we'll need some buttons on the other side for extra controls, one of which I will make blue for contrast, and it all just needs a touch of lighting to blend in. The inner part of the machine is plastic, but this outer shell is going to be made of a high-quality metal, because we ain't skimping on the budget around here. I did find this super cool vent that I'm going to put here up top, because I just assumed these older machines would need a little help dissipating all the heat that builds up. So something like this should work rather nicely. And I did notice that Discord loves using these little illustrated characters all over their website and app, so I've grabbed one of them. I think it would just be a fun touch to put it on here. You know, kind of like how sometimes kids would go around and put stickers on these types of old arcade machines. It will be in the process of peeling off just because of its age though. And I've got one more for this side. I honestly really like the extra detail and little splash of color that these stickers give to the whole thing. Lastly, our screen deserves a little extra glow, and we have gone from a simple off-brand controller to a full-on mini arcade machine that is sure to bring all your friends around, assuming you have any in the first place. Now we're moving on to DoorDash, the app you use when you need an octuple bacon burger and a 4-gallon shake delivered to your doorstep at 3 in the morning. When I think about how to represent DoorDash as an icon,
Nobody orders that much except for people who order 20 Big Macs with the side of 50 large fries, with 50 Cokes, and 100 Sundays with one less top. A very large tall Big Mac with 50 onions, triple bun, quadruple bun, 6 cheese, there's 4 meat, 6 beef, 2 hot dogs, and 5 bacons with 50 lettuce.
It'll give me some pretty nice looking wrinkles. And I did go pretty bold with some of these, because I want to make sure they stand out when the icon is really small. Speaking of which, out here, you can't really even tell that this is paper. So I think a much coarser texture is in order, and frankly, it isn't a real paper bag unless it has that quintessential cutout in the center and those little wavy spikes along the border of the bag. It's important to note that we can't continue those waves along the entire back of the bag, usually because app icons can't have any transparent parts, and you kind of just have to keep everything solid in that rounded square shape. But that's perfectly okay, because I think this looks just fine the way it is. I do think I'll fold 1 or 2 of these little flaps over for a little extra detail, and you also can't forget that paper itself has a tiny bit of thickness, so this entire top edge will get a tiny rim light of its own. Now that the bag is done, let's get that logo on here front and center, so everyone will know this is a DoorDash bag. But you know, an empty bag is a sad bag. As it turns out, some of the items most commonly DoorDashed are chicken nuggets and french fries. So I'll give this little nug a snuggly home here on the side, and some french fries, one by one, will be laid over here. I'll adjust the exposure of the food to match the lighting on the bag, and of course those tall bag edges will cast a shadow on our meal, and our meal will cast a shadow on the bag. I'll make our nugget here look extra crispy with a special dash of lighting up top, and all that food's going to get some extra bloom to make it look irresistible. Now, if you can look at this every time you pop open your phone and resist the urge to order at least a dozen nuggets, you are a stronger person than I. If you want to watch me create packaging designs for famous products from your favorite movies and shows, then watch this video.
Araw sa inyong lahat. At ngayong araw na ito ay pag-uusapan natin ang tungkol sa
Pag may check, abot kaya. Kaya pag may gamot, huwag mahihiyang magtanong at hanapin ang check ng right man. Pag may check, that's right man.
Give me gold again. Come on. There it is. There it is. Gold again. That's a pretty satisfying system. Oh. She's adorable.
We've seen things in movies we wished we could actually buy, like a little liquid luck from Harry Potter, that cool hoverboard from Back to the Future, or some dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
I regret nothing.
Well, in this video, I'm taking some of your favorite movies and shows and bringing their best creations to life as brands you can actually buy from the store.
Here we go.
First up, we're tackling Mr. Ping's Noodles. Now, besides being the father of the Dragon Warrior, Jack Black, Mr. Ping runs the hippest restaurant in the entire village. It also seems to be the only restaurant in the entire village. His claim to fame, though, is his delicious secret ingredient noodle soup. So as a shrewd businessman, if Ping was around today, I think he'd jump at one of the biggest opportunities for noodle makers, selling them to poor college students. That's why I'll be making an instant noodle cup version of Mr. Ping's secret ingredient soup. Since he's obviously the star of his own brand, I want to put an illustration of him on the cup. But an appealing product model, he is not. Since Mr. Ping is originally from China, though, I want to take one of the traditional approaches many Chinese products do, by making a much cuter, more lovable version of our favorite goose character. And although he'll look quite different, I'll be sure to keep in some of his defining features like his big bushy eyebrows, his little side tufts that spring out, and I think it'd be pretty funny to have him holding up his wing in kind of a shushing-like motion, like he's not going to tell you the secret ingredient of his secret ingredient soup. I'll make some clean outlines for all of that, using a decent variety of line thicknesses for more of a playful look. And although his back is kind of gray, he's basically just pure white from the front, with that big yellow bill that can be seen for miles. Now, Mr. Ping has always struck me as kind of a quirky little guy. I can sell noodles in the lobby! So I think it would be fitting to have him swim around in a giant pile of his own noodles. Basically, he's just like Scrooge McDuck, but he traded his ocean of coins for it in the strands of cooked duck. But let me tell you, if you want a real challenge, go draw yourself a giant pile of noodles, twisting and turning and wrapping everywhere. It ain't easy, but I have to admit, the end result is quite satisfying. I suppose our goose could use a little shadow of his own, so he won't feel so flat. And I usually like to add a touch of soft shading on these types of illustrations. Now, if you're like me, this kind of makes you wonder if Mr. Ping is the secret ingredient of the secret ingredient soup. All the creatures in the Kung Fu Panda universe are supposedly vegetarian because I guess they didn't want Tai Lung knocking someone out who was devouring them on screen. But maybe old Mr. Ping here is slipping a little pinch meat into that soup broth. I think I might have his little tail popping up the back of the pile, which just helps show that he's a small, cheetah-sized goose, and not a giant, long-necked freaking creature. As is customary, they're all cute drawings, so top him off with some cheek blushes
Are you
on both
having
sides,
diarrhea,
along with the
or you're
red
having
background, since
frequent
red
bowel
yellow seems
movements
to be
now,
his primary
or are you
branding
having
colors, that will
constipation
make
where
the
you're
area
going
around the bottom of
days
the back
without
better help
having
him and the
significant
noodles
bowel
pop
movement?
out. And
This
perhaps
is
an
also
extra rim light around
consistency.
him for
Corpuscles
even more
more
contrast.
watery
Now,
than
this big
normal,
empty space looks
or
like the
they
perfect
hard
place
like
for
rocks,
normally I
or
would probably try to
thinner
find some
than they used to
Asian
be.
calligraphy
The
looking
reason why we
font.
pay
I'm feeling
attention to
adventurous
this is
today, so
because
I'll take a
for
swing
colon
at
cancer
hand
that's
my own
forming
letters
can
for
change your
change,
bowel
making
habits.
sure they feel
While a normal
handmade and
colon
kind
should
of
look
loose and
open just
quirky,
like
with
this,
Ping being the
growing
main focal
cancer
point
can
and
stop
Mr.
the
being
stool
more
from
small.
passing
Then that
correctly,
whole thing can
cause
get
it
a
to be
black stroke
thinner.
to match everything
It can be
else.
a lot
I kind of would like to tie the character a bit more into the logo, so maybe I can take some of the scruffy feathers and add those onto the main MVP. Finally, a yellow outline will help the logo stand out, as well as complement the noodles down below. Speaking of which, we need a little steam coming off of them so they feel fresh and tasty. Even though it does kind of look like Mr. Ping made some of his own steam, if you know what I mean. Either way, all that steam is going to rise up and spread out the top in a cool pattern that gives the area behind the logo a little more pizzazz. This is Mr. Ping's secret ingredient soup, of course, and it's super easy because it cooks in only 3 minutes. Finally, we know Mr. Ping only loves one thing more than his noodles, and that is his son Po. So since this soup is all natural and organic, I think a little panda is the perfect icon to showcase that idea. So if Mr. Ping was building his noodle empire today, I think the local store shelves would be piled with something just like this. Now to check out the sponsor of today's video, Display. If you're still pinning up lame paper posters of your favorite anime hero in your bedroom, Display makes amazing metal posters to show off all the cool stuff you're into. With over 2 million designs available from brands like Avatar, Star Wars, and Marvel, you're sure to find something in their huge library that truly speaks to you. And don't worry about the hassle of drilling giant holes to hang them up. Just stick this little sticker on there, slap on the magnet, and through the power of science, your display will stay on the wall. It's also super easy to swap them out when your favorite show disappoints you yet again. Plus, there's this cool box that makes your poster look like it's floating off the wall, if you want that kind of look. Now, a ton of displays come in a new textured finish called Display Texture. You've got tactile bumpiness, 3D contours across the poster, and matte and glossy finishes on different parts of the same image. I also know that many of you watching this are artists yourselves, so I'll let you know that you can even sell your own artwork on their website and get your metal prints into the hands of people everywhere. All displays are printed with the highest of quality in the EU and generally arrive in 5 minutes. Check out the link down below to find the perfect displays for you, and be sure to look at those new Textra displays. They really are pretty cool. Thanks again to Display for sponsoring this video. Now we're moving on to Avatar: The Last Airbender's Cabbage Guy. Now this poor man simply wants to sell his precious cabbages, but Aang and his motley crew keep destroying them unintentionally.
These juveniles were arrested for malicious destruction of cabbages.
Leaving him in a depressed and desolate state. These days, most cabbages are just sold as plastic wrap, which doesn't really make for a super interesting packaging design, but you can buy shredded cabbage in bags like these. So it seems like the root art vegetable entrepreneur would take to keep up with the times. To me, it feels like the Cabbage Guy is a proud Earth Kingdom citizen, and really the pride of the whole Earth Kingdom is their massive city on the big north. Even though in the show, our cabbage hero only had a dinky little car, I think he deserves a proper Earth Kingdom shop from which to sell his leaf ingredients. And if we make this label look like it's shop, everyone buying it will know where it came from. Now basically all Earth Kingdom buildings have these really cool roofs made from overlapping terracotta-like tiles, which likely have a good amount of original texture here, since they are made by hand experts, especially the sides of the tiles, which can get pretty rough sometimes. I'll throw in a few cracks here or there for a bit of character, and a little rim light to showcase these sharp edges. The other thing you can't miss about Earth Kingdom buildings are giant gold horn-like structures sprawling out the bottom. So they'll give this cabbage shop some prestigious horns of its own, which also creates some really nice framing for whatever else we put on the package. And really, the secret to making these look gold is all in adding a good amount of shine along the sharper edges, some broader flat sheen along the tops, and a little bounce reflection on the
black
bottom of the
hole.
horns. Might as well give these some little
journey
texture too, which will help them match the same level of detail
that
as the
begins
Finally,
where
these guys will be
everything
casting some
ends.
shadow on the roof below. Now, since we've got a roof on the wall,
I'd like to bring you on my journey.
made by earthbenders, so I imagine it'll be pretty rough, with a healthy amount of cracks and divots all along the surface. The Earth Kingdom is basically a desert, so I'll make the sunlight pretty harsh for this whole scene. Now,
I've learned that having autism is not a disability.
Cabbage Guy's first love, after all. Now, really
It's an
think that
ability.
the building scene with the actual cabbage down below.
When I was younger, I was
It's almost like
unable
need
to
some sort of
interact with
container to
people.
wrap around that, which actually gives me an
I
idea.
felt
It looks like
a
the
bit
one other
empty,
material commonly used in these types of
incomplete.
buildings is
I
wood. So
felt
what about adding in like
invisible.
a wooden ring around all of this to kind of help frame
was
it
good,
up?
wasn't
Like a little 3D. Check out some chunks so it really feels hand carved.
After
and kind of bevels
discovering
so the light
magic,
bounces off those
my life
round
changed.
edges.
It was like a light switch coming
Add a
on
little
inside
strip
my
wood
head.
as a barrier between these two different zones, with the central cabbage being the thing that ties
I
them both
found a
together.
way to
Probably does
interact
need
with
some
people
slightly better lighting, though,
through
if it's going to look
my
the same.
magic.
It's actually kind of interesting, because to me, this kind of looks like a frame around a door going into the shop. So right above it seems like the perfect place to put the store's sign, using the same steps as before to
No
make
way
it
to
look
melt
like
some
a
like
wooden
that.
letters. And a small
It is, you
sign
know.
above it with golden letters to match the horns, so let people know this is shredded cabbage.
Magic
Just in case the
is
secret
my
process
universe,
for any actual shredded cabbage
and my life
wasn't enough. Now clearly there
is
was
now
at least
whole.
one graphic designer in there, but all they needed to do was draw these
It is
little
great.
crisscross
It's
blocky
really
lines,
good.
because they are literally everywhere. I don't really feel like reinventing the wheel here, so I'll I'll just follow suit.
I have a notepad here, and written on each page are some of my favorite.
Carved straight out of the wall. Let's get our
Yes.
legal text on here, letting people know their cabbage will perish if it's left out of the fridge. And lastly, I think the cabbage guy deserves his own special logo on here, which I'll place on this tiny golden square right in the heart of his beloved cabbage. And I'll engrave his likeness into that gold for all to see. And if you didn't know,
Have a
his
look and
real name
see.
is Kai, and his cabbage was grown on his personal farm.
Yeah.
You might not have
Please,
noticed it, but Kai's
say
logo
stop.
forms that secret Earth Kingdom symbol right here. in
Could you please
So
call out the
hopefully
tree
the
to
cabbage guy
stop
can
Don?
touch a break for once
Jelly
and finally
beans.
get his
Jelly
stolen
beans.
veggie business off the ground. with
Earlier,
this Earth
I left
Kingdom
a special
inspired
gift for you.
Now we're branding
Could you
that
please
SpongeBob
remove the
SquarePants
lid and
right
reveal the gift
here.
inside?
Basically, SpongeBob flips
Oh,
burgers
oh
my
all day
God.
at the Krusty Krab, and he offers some of the customers with the versions of the set up shop and sell his burgers to the masses with more success. But one thing you'll notice
Now,
is that
Simon,
Sponge had his
before
entire
you eat the
inventory
sweets,
just laying
I'd
all
like you
over
to
the
guess
sitting
how
area.
many jelly beans are inside the jar.
Okay, got it.
What is it?
2,500.
Companies have spent
2,500.
turning wonderful
Would you be impressed if I told you that you've guessed right?
Yeah,
That's impossible, isn't it?
literally impossible.
Could you please remove
We've
the
all
lid
seen things
and read
in
the
movies
notes
we
I
easily
placed
get
inside
access
before the show?
What? That is amazing.
Since the entire focus of this business is on those colored patties, I feel like we've got it to win. My concern is that using a solid colored patty might make the packaging quite bland. Plus, if you ordered a green burger, but there's a yellow burger on your package, you're gonna automatically think that your
I
order
asked
was
you to
wrong.
think
So what
of
if
a
we go
playing
ahead and
card.
do the illustrated
Could you please
burger, but
remind
each part of the
everyone
sandwich will
what
be a
that
different
card
color
was?
that the pretty patties come in. However, I am gonna stay somewhat close to the
7
natural colors of a real burger, like making the cheese yellow, for instance. That way it still kind of looks like a hamburger to
please
people who have
remove
never seen a pretty
the
patty,
one
but it's also clearly
face sound
unique because of the
first?
strange colors of some of the ingredients. Because really, something where everything is the wrong color is just
Show
really
it to
hard to
everyone.
visually read, and frankly, it's just downright ugly. So the essential idea is that pretty patties are basically dyed or painted, which goes along with SpongeBob's world really nicely since everything has a painted look. So I'll get this thing to look like a painting as well. With some messy brush marks over everything, a touch of highlights around the edges, some shadow here on the right side for depth, and finish it off with a special brush that gives it a paint spattered look. And I almost forgot the sesame seeds for our top bun, just giving those a little shadow to help them pop off the bread. Let's get some shading on our mayonnaise with a tiny rim light to help it look saucy. The burger needs all sorts of lumps to make it look like beef. This will be a thick slice of cheese right here. And we can't forget the holes, because all cartoon cheese has holes. Just make the lettuce look frilly, the tomatoes tomatoey, then one tiny drop shadow, and the burger is done. Now it looks like SpongeBob has about the same logo design skills as your average Fiverr user selling designs for 35 cents. So I'm going to help him out and give him something that looks a little more professional while still keeping the fun vibe of the brand. And if you do happen to ever make your own hand-painted logo, be sure to change up the look of all the letters just so you don't get 4 T's that look exactly the same. I'll make pretty a bright yellow to make it pretty. Plus it's our main man's color of choice. And I think these could even use some of SpongeBob's holes as well, just to give it a painted look. Kind of like the brushes didn't fill in all the areas perfectly. That whole thing will get a texture like the burger, some subtle shading along the ridges, and I'll add in some paint splatter off to the sides for a bit of soft effect. Help fill in some of the empty space here around the sides. I'll add in some of the iconic flowers seen in SpongeBob's sky. Plus, flowers are pretty. These are pretty patties, so it all fits rather nicely. Now, if you've been wondering how we're going to solve the problem of showing customers which color patty they have, well, I'm going to put a neat little color picker down here at the bottom where workers can mark the color of the patty in the box. And as a bonus, this lets us use the same box for every type of pretty patty. Lastly, the background will get a little bit of that painted texture here or there to tie everything together. So if SpongeBob ever makes his way out of the sea and gets his hands on enough food coloring, he might be selling this bad boy at a burger joint near you. Now, if you want to watch me rebrand iconic healthy foods to look like
Absolutely freaked me out when I saw that. There's something really wonderful about you, and I do believe in magic, and you're such an amazing performer.
Thank you.
In a previous video, I redesigned junk food as healthy snacks, and you all seem to love it. So in this video, I'm turning that upside down by rebranding healthy foods as junk food to make scarfing down that pureed broccoli a little easier. First up, we have green We've all seen things in movies we wished we could actually buy. Like a little liquid luck from Harry Potter, that cool hoverboard from Back to the Future, or some dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
I regret nothing.
Well, in this video, I'm taking some of your favorite movies and shows and bringing their best creations to life as brands you could actually buy from the store.
Here we go.
First up, Pixar. They make big money by giving emotions to things that don't normally happen, like toys or rats or jeans. Well, in this video, I'm asking the question, what if logos had emotions? So I'll be turning these famous logos into Pixar characters ready for their own movies. But I won't be using any fancy 3D software like real Pixar artists do. I'm going to attempt to hand paint realistic 3D models all in Photoshop. Grateful. Now, according to Reddit, their logo is supposed to be a stylized, smiling alien named Snoop. He represents the friendly, conversational community aspect of Reddit. Yeah, okay. But let's be real. This is not an alien. This is straight up Eva with a TV antenna. So I am going to make him a robot. But to be accurate to the Reddit lore, I guess he can be an alien robot. I'll leave him in his happy little bubble, but I'll give it more of a gradient look instead of solid orange. Alrighty, first off, I'll start by making this smooth head shape with a vector curve instead of trying to draw it by hand. Making just half of the head lets me flip it so it's perfectly symmetrical. Then putting the little blobs that I assume are his ears, which are completely solid, so I'm not sure he can even hear out of it. But I'll use the older Reddit logo as a reference for his body and the two bulbous arms hanging down from his sides. Now I've made all these pieces separate so it'll be easier to paint the shadows onto them. And I'm thinking I'll go with a soft, smooth shading, kind of like Baymax from Big Hero 6, adding in some extra light here up top and a smooth rim light here on the shadow side will really start to give us a pretty convincing 3D shape. I'll do a similar process for the ears, being sure the head also casts a shadow into that. Then a thin black strip right in here will make the ears look attached to the head with a thin gap in between. Now let's make this body nice and round, like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Now, one thing that pretty much always helps these types of things feel more realistic is ambient occlusion, which is when surfaces that are close together appear darker, like this little crevice here where his arm and side are touching. Speaking of which, I think I'll break the arm into two pieces so he can have some kind of little joint there, I guess. Now, this dude has got some pretty big eyes, and luckily, I found what are apparently round glass lamps or car headlights, which I think will work perfectly for his peepers. Just need to be orange like the original logo, and a little cleanup so they don't feel so messy. The sockets are going to be darker up here where the light is being blocked, brighter in this area where the light will actually hit it, and we can't forget the glow coming off the orange eyes. Now, a cool little trick I figured out is that I can paint over this corner with the blur brush, and it makes it look like a smooth, rounded edge instead of a sharp one. Since the Reddit logo is probably the only thing on the site that's actually happy, we'll give him a big, smiling, Pixar-style mouth, which is basically just two tiny thin lips with a little shading under here so it protrudes out slightly. Next, I'm going to make a small panel at the top of his head to create that bent antenna he's got going on, a shiny metal ball on the end, some rivets to segment the metal, and add a little detail, and we'll make sure it's reflecting that nice orange background behind it. Now, one of Reddit's key features are these little arrows that let you upvote or downvote posts, so I think it'd be really cool to put some arrow buttons on our robot pal here. That way, you can press his up button if he's doing a good job, and if he gets too many downvotes, I guess he'd just go straight into the incinerator. Finally, I feel like a good robot is supposed to look clean and shiny, so I'm going to paint some highlights on different parts of his body to mimic the appearance of reflections. So here we have our Pixar-style Reddit logo, who looks like he's ready to bring all the happiness of Reddit to the rest of the world. Now we move on to the ultimate challenge of creating a human, but not just any human, the world-famous Colonel Sanders, who was the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. If we look at some of Pixar's more elderly characters, sometimes they are really detailed with a lot of sharp facial features. Sometimes they're very stylized, but have a softness to their skin. And sometimes they're just left in the pool way too long. I'm thinking the old man from Up is more the style I want to go with. But first I have a big announcement. I just released a brand new app called ClickPilot. It's an amazing tool to help you create highly clickable thumbnails and titles for YouTube videos. I myself have seen videos explode to millions of views after changing to a better thumbnail. So let's say your video is about putting your pet hamster through a tricky obstacle course. You can search through a database of viral videos to get ideas for your thumbnails and save them all to your inspiration board. You can even search for similar thumbnails to get a bit more variety, or you can even use our Chrome extension to save videos directly from YouTube. Using that inspiration, create some potential thumbnails. But to see which one will work best, upload upload all of them to ClickPilot to see exactly what they'll look like on YouTube, including the mobile app, desktop search results, and the sidebar. But what's really cool is you can enter a search term like hamster challenge and see how your video stacks up against popular videos in that niche. You can even add in a short description of your video, and ClickPilot will give you search terms and YouTube channels to test your video against, always giving you the best chance to stand out against the competition. Oh, and if you struggle with titles, just click the generate button over here and get an array of YouTube-ready titles that will make people click. You can share the entire ClickPilot project with your team or a client, and they'll be able to see and flip through all the title and thumbnail options for themselves. Sign up for ClickPilot within the next week and get 20% off your first 3 months. I hope you all enjoy it because me and my brother worked super hard on it. So I can start sketching a blueprint for my design using a Loomis head, which is just a circle with the sides cut off and a lower extension to roughen the jaw. Now we can take a picture of the kernel and map his more defining features over to the skeleton. Well, he's got quite the bean-shaped head with a large rounded nose. He'll need some big cartoony eyes, and his subtle smile can go right down. His ears will run from the top of his eyes and just past his nose. And his glasses, wavy hair, and goatee, and a squarish body with his traditional bow tie and apron. Now that we've got a decent design laid out for the character, just like the Reddit design, I'll make some separate refined shapes that can be painted on top. Now, skin doesn't react to light the same way other materials do. A normal object will generally have a linear color change as it goes from its lightest point to its darkest. But with skin, you often get this strip of red right before the dark areas. This is called subsurface scatter, and it's caused by how translucent our skin is. Computers can render this stuff pretty perfectly, but I'm going to have to be my own computer today, so I'm using a that lets me paint in black and white, and it'll convert it into a skin tone region.